Ukraine's top steelmaker says one of its plants was hit by heavy shelling on Sunday. Since the Russian invasion began, thousands of Metinvest workers and their families have been forced to take shelter. So look at where they are. The company has mining and plants in Ukraine, Europe and the US, as well as a global sales network. The CEO is Yuri Ryzhenkov, and he was busy this weekend overseeing a convoy of humanitarian aid headed for the besieged city of Mariupol, where they have facilities. The chief executive joins me now. Sir, first of all, let's get our priorities. I hope you and your family and your staff, which in a sense is your wider family, I hope they are well, in the sense of at least have not been injured.
Well, good afternoon. Well, fortunately, yes, my family is okay given the circumstances, but I cannot say about the staff of our larger company. As you rightly said, Metinvest employed almost 40,000 people in the city of Mariupol, which has been cut off from the rest of Ukraine for more than 2 weeks, and being bombarded basically by every 30 minutes in the last 2 or 3 days. People literally living in bomb shelters, and they are unable to get out of the city. We've been trying, as you rightly said, we've been trying to get the humanitarian aid, the humanitarian convoy, and also the buses to evacuate as many people of the city as possible. But unfortunately, last 7 days, the Russian armed forces were not allowing us to get into the city.
And the other resources, plants, facilities that you have in Ukraine, have you shut them all down now?
Well, our first priority is the safety of our people and safety of the people around the plants. Our plants they do operate with the hazardous materials. They can emit hazardous materials if they're hit by the bombs when they're operating. So whenever the fighting comes closer, we are idling them. For now, we idled our plant well, obviously the Mariupol plants have been idled some time ago now, and we idled a plant in Zaporozhye. Our plant in Kamenskoye is still operating, and our mining facilities in Kryvyi Rog operating about 30% of their capacity.
I mean, what's your, forgive me, this is going to sound a foolish question when I say sort of what's your plan, but I realise that, you know, your plan gets made up according to what's being bombed and where the Russians are and what happens next. But at some point, if it looks like Russia is the invasion is going to succeed and Russia is going to take over Ukraine, what will you do?
Well, just as most of the Ukrainians, or even probably all of the Ukrainians, we believe we can still stop that scenario from happening. And then the company, the shareholders, they're united to take every step necessary to prevent such events from happening. At the moment, we're focusing on the humanitarian aid. We established a logistical network together with the Rinat Akhmedov Humanitarian Fund, and we set up a hub in Poland where we're accumulating all the necessary humanitarian aid, and then it's being shipped to Zaporozhye and then distributed to the people in the cities where we operate. We already distributed 80 tons of humanitarian aid. And in parallel, the company also is involved in helping the territorial forces and the army. So we're making some anti-tank facilities. We're putting concrete blocks to build the defense facilities. We are buying the bulletproof vests and helmets and importing them into Ukraine to give it to territorial forces. So we're trying to help as much as possible to both our army, to our country, and to our people.
What's your intention in the sense that we've seen the stories that local mayors are being kidnapped by Russians as and when they get them. Now, obviously, as the chief executive of an extremely important part of the Ukrainian economy, your own personal safety, whilst I appreciate, sir, you'll want to stay with your staff and you'll want to stay with your people. I appreciate that, sir. But at some point, there will come a moment where you will have to decide, is it more harm than good for you to stay?
Well, at the moment, we're all staying here in Kiev, side by side with our president, the government, and our fighters. So that's the way it is right now.
Sir, we're with you and we're following closely. And as soon as we can, obviously, we'll keep in touch and we'll hear more about what you're doing. I'm grateful you've talked to us tonight, sir. Thank you.